So the Los Angeles Clippers stink. And now we're getting some very interesting comments and quotes from their players post game. Let's get into it. Now, before we even jump into the videos, let me just say this. The Clippers are mightily disappointing me so far this season. I actually had very high expectations for this Clippers team going into the season. You can check out the NBA tier list video I did prior to the season starting with my good friend Mars. That is an earlier stream that we did. Go check that out. And make sure you subscribe. I'm seeing a lot of new viewers. Hit that sub button and welcome to the family. But the Los Angeles Clippers, again, I had high expectations because I believed in the roster that they were able to conjure up together, right? I thought Bradley Beal maybe in a more limited role than even in Phoenix, right? In the right environment could be a very good offensive player and replace some of that production that they were losing in Norman Powell. I thought it was Zubac, excuse me, I thought Zubac would come into the year and build on what he did last year, right? Being an all defensive player, being one of the best centers in the league, being one of the more devastating role men, protecting the basket at an elite level. I thought he would build on that. I thought James Harden, which to his credit, and again, we're about to hear from James Harden here soon, would be very good in the regular season and floor raise to the best of his abilities. And he's been doing his part. I believe that, Brooke Lopez, even though he is, a little bit long in the tooth, he's a bit, slower than he was in his prime years. Would it for sure be a decent backup center, at least, right? And then you have the defensive wings or guards, if you want to say Chris Dunn is a guard. You have Chris Dunn at the POA. Derrick Jones Jr. is a really good defensive player on the wing as well. And then, of course, Kawhi Leonard, right? You add Kawhi Leonard to this mix. You have a good backup center theoretically in Brooke Lopez. You also have theoretically a good backup point guard in Chris Paul. Add on to what they did last year. You bring in Bradley Beal, hoping to replace some of that production that you get from Norman Powell or the loss thereof. But my God above, have things not turned out to be peachy over there for the Los Angeles Clippers, right? We have Chris Paul playing so ass that he knows it's time to hang up the jersey and leave the fucking game before it leaves you. You have Brooke Lopez who needs to do the same because he's been god awful. I can beat Brooke Lopez off the dribble right now. I'm not bullshitting either, right? You got Kawhi Leonard playing. We already know what the deal is with Kawhi. Missing games. I think he had a hurt ankle. He twisted his ankle in the games. He missed a period of time with that. Right, and then in some of the games he's even played, he's been underperforming in some of those games. And then not to mention Bradley Beal had a season-ending injury, which actually might be an injury that ends his career because it's a hip injury. And we know those don't, it's hard to recover. Ask Isaiah Thomas from a hip injury. And so now, through all of that, through all of the frustration, I think they have one of the worst offenses in the league. They have one of the worst defenses in the league. They have one of the worst records in the league. We're starting to sense a bit of frustration from these players. So now let's get into it. Here is James Harden um, in what he had to say after one of the recent games. And also, if you're wondering where you can watch these games with us, click that description, hit the link to that playback. Join us over here where we're streaming games every single night. But let's get into it. Let's see what he has to say.
Can this be salvaged, like the start to the season?
What other choice have you got? Like I said before,
I mean, it can always continue going.
I can.
That's
So this is a question that we'll see.
So there's James Harden right there, seeming very dejected already. Here's him in this same interview saying this.
Who you wanted to play through, how you wanted to play. What's the challenge of trying to integrate those guys, different guys into how y'all want to play offensively right now?
Challenging.
In what ways?
Every way.
For you, I mean, you've been one of the great floor raisers that this game has ever seen. How is it more challenging than some of the other situations you've been in where you've been able to raise that floor?
I don't know. I can't call the last situations or whatever. Like, situation here is just difficult. We're not, not making shots offensively. Defensively, we allow things that the game plan mistakes, we allow that to happen too many times. So it's just one of the reasons why we lose games.
I never thought I'd say this. I feel bad for James Harden. James Harden has been playing some phenomenal basketball so far this season, and the Clippers aren't capitalizing on that whatsoever. He's playing one of the best guard seasons at this age, if not the best, potentially, arguably, in the history of the sport. And it doesn't matter because the team stinks. He's playing at a very high level at 36 years old, or 37, however old James Harden is, one of those. Elite basketball does not matter whatsoever. Just losing. Recently had like a 50-point outburst against Charlotte. Like, James Harden is balling. And in fact, let me see if I can pull this up too. Let me see if I can pull this up as far as how impactful he's been for the Los Angeles Clippers. Here we go. Here's James Harden. This is some MVP, quite literally, level of like net swing, right? Plus 23, James Harden is on offense. A 119 offensively when he's on the court, a 96. Like, this is literally MVP level impact he's having on the offensive side of the ball. Like, no bullshit. This is actually crazy. Now, their defense, terrible defense with them on, then, slightly bad defense with them off. So fairs, I guess. But still ends up being a plus 17 with him on the court. So James Harden is not the problem in Los Angeles. And I am definitely not Harden FC, right? I have never been accused of that. However, it is very frustrating to hear James Harden get so much criticism, especially on the Clippers, what he lacks in some of these playoff games, or, Clipper fans are disappointed in some of his playoff performances. However, he's carrying this team in the regular season, while the guy that y'all pay and have on the roster to be the playoff superstar didn't play last year in the regular season, played 37 games of the 82 games. James is still the best player on a 50-plus win team. But hey, he had a bad game 7, so let's shit on James Harden. That doesn't make any sense. And so now we're in this year where he's, again, the best player on the team. One of, if not the most available player on the team. Somehow, Kawhi Leonard just skips and tiptoes through accountability. I've never seen anything like this a day in my life. Makes the most money on the team. Ended up being in a scandal revolving around the team and the owner in the offseason for trying to find a way to pay him even more money to play 37 games and be pretty good in a playoff series against Denver, to come to this year and have quotes like this.
You guys have obviously had some unfortunate circumstances. Like you said, you missed time. Brad's been out for the year. But in previous seasons, that hasn't been totally abnormal for this group to have guys in and out, and they've still kind of found ways to stay around 500 or above 500. What do you think is the difference with this group, where it's been such a struggle to kind of sustain some of the blows you guys have taken early?
Just got to get the right lineups on the court, I guess. Get some more talent, play with better talent, and see what happens.
You say get more talent. Is that like internally, externally?
I'm saying like playing better. Like we all just got to play better, make shots, move the ball a little bit more, trust one another, and just get better.
You guys have obviously had.
Get more talent. Now, again, when the reporter asked for some clarification, he just started rambling and not answering the actual question. So fairs to Kawhi Leonard on that. Get more talent, brother. They've already tried to compensate for the fact that they know you don't play regular season games. I don't think people have taken into account what the Clippers are trying to accomplish is construct a team around a best player that they know isn't going to be there a lot of the time. So still construct a team good enough to win games without their best player, while best player still makes up that amount of the salary cap. They're trying to do something that's damn near impossible. Let's make a great team that can still be great without our best player, while our best player still makes up a lot of the salary cap because he makes $50+ million a year. While we also then try to pay him more through aspiration. Allegedly. This year has already missed time. And then that same stat I was showing y'all about about James Harden. Look at Kawhi. Basically the same offense with him off the court or on. They low-key get a little bit better on defense without him. He has a negative 3.2 net rating. Now, to be fair, I do want to be fair and be clear. Those on-off numbers like that can be skewed due to different lineups and minutes played together in said lineups. Maybe there's a lineup that he's playing in that's not, catering to him and whatnot. But that may be the case. So, to be fair, I do want to acknowledge that. However, the fact of the matter is that Kawhi Leonard has not performed like a top 10 player in the league this year. And that's what they need Kawhi to be. A top 10 player in the league. Not just another James Harden teammate. Especially with what's going on right now. Right? Teammates underperforming. That's when superstars have to take their game to another level. James Harden has done that. If Kawhi Leonard matched James Harden's energy, they would win more of these games, even with the surrounding teammates being disappointing so far. Star/superstar caliber players still to this day in a regular season setting can win you games. Point blank period. We're seeing it on that other LA team right now between Luka and Austin Reeves. Even the amount of games we had LeBron out, Luka's giving us 35, 8, and 8. Austin's giving us 28 to 30. In games in which Luka and LeBron are out, Austin Reeves is giving us 40 and 50, catapulting us to wins. Kawhi Leonard is not doing that for the Clippers. James Harden is trying his darndest to do it. Kawhi Leonard needs to match James Harden's energy. Not trying to hear about need better talent. You are the talent. You're not playing up to your standard. So please miss me with that. Before Kawhi Leonard points to anybody else about being better, he needs to be better. He needs to be more of the talent. However, his team is ass. I do want to make that clear. Outside of like Zubac and Harden, Chris Dunn is still cool. Oh, another injury I didn't even mention earlier. DJJ is now out, I believe, with like a knee injury or something like that. He's going to miss some time. So there's another player. So I don't want to be mistaken. The Clippers are not a good team. However, Kawhi Leonard needs to be better, right? Because we need the Clippers to be good as an NBA community so that the Oklahoma City Thunder don't end up with like Cam Boozer, my nigga, or AJ DeBonza. So we need the Clippers to pick it up because OKC does not need any more help. They're okay. I promise you they're good. So, Clippers, win a few more games, play up to expectation, and be the good team that we thought you could be. I don't know. Or maybe it's simply just too late because the players are too injury prone and they're too old. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Make sure you like the video, make sure you sub to the channel, and make sure that you check that description. Hit every link that you see there. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on TikTok, and make sure you hit that playback link where we are streaming games every single night. And until next time, it's been real.